Hey guys. So recently over on Instagram, I made a post asking you guys what you wanted to see more of on my channel, and a lot of you wanted to see more vlogs. So I'm giving the people what they asked for. I am bringing you another vlog. This vlog is going to be something that I haven't done yet. I've made recital or concert preparation vlogs, but now I'm going to be bringing you an audition preparation vlog. So in exactly a month, there is an audition for a flute opening at this regional per service orchestra that is actually near where I'm from in Pennsylvania. And I thought that I would take it and I would bring you guys along to show you my preparation. So in the course of all of my time playing flute, I have only taken 2 actual orchestra auditions, like professional orchestra auditions. And I think honestly what stops me from taking orchestra auditions, apart from trying to manage my freelancing career with teaching and preparing for concerts and just all of this stuff that we have to do as musicians trying to make it and survive, is that I never feel ready and I never feel like my level of playing is good enough. I think that it can be really difficult because as performing artists, we're always trying to improve and we're always trying to critique ourselves to get to this next level of playing. And obviously that's necessary, but I think it's also really difficult when we have to step back and be like, yeah, I can do this. I am a really great flute player. That just feels very uncomfortable to say. So I'm going to try to say that more often, not to be bragging or, I never want to come off as thinking that I'm amazing. But I think I could tell myself that I'm amazing just to, work on that inner dialogue. But yeah, so I don't know if any of you out there can relate to this, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I've decided that I am going to push myself. I am going to practice and prepare for this, and I'm going to do it, regardless of how I'm feeling come audition day. So right now we are exactly a month out, and quite honestly, I am not in the best playing shape that I could be. Recently, I got back from being in Argentina for 3 weeks with my boyfriend, and we had an awesome time. We played a recital there. Also, we gave a lot of master classes, which was a really amazing, rewarding experience. But so our recital was at the beginning of the trip, and then towards the end, for the last 2 weeks, I didn't really do much practicing. And that's okay because I did a lot of really hard work this summer, and I wanted to kind of take a break and just step away from things for a moment and kind of refresh myself. But now it's time to really get back into shape, to do a lot of technique work, go back to some fundamentals, and to revisit some excerpts because I haven't really done much work on them in a bit because I was playing those solo recitals this summer and doing some chamber music stuff, so that really was not my first priority. So I just wanted to kind of update you guys and let you know what's going to be going on over the course of this vlog. This week I'm doing a lot of teaching, and then I have some rehearsals and an orchestra concert at the end of the week, so I'm not sure how much time I'm going to be able to spend specifically on the excerpts right now, but I am working on getting back into shape and getting back to a place where I feel like I can play well. So I will check in with you guys later. Hey guys, so it's been maybe like 2 weeks since I first started this vlog. So the last time you saw me, I had just decided that I was going to take this audition, and then I was at home in Pennsylvania for a few days actually subbing with the orchestra back there where I'm from, and then I was doing some other things like getting adjusted to my new teaching schedule, and then Jeremias was here, my boyfriend was here visiting from Pittsburgh where he lives now. So I haven't really been practicing as much as I should considering I have this thing coming up. And also I'm just feeling really down in general about my playing. And I don't know if I'm going to end up posting this because I'm going to get emotional probably, and it makes me feel really vulnerable and uncomfortable. But maybe that's why I do need to post it, just to be okay with it. And I want to let you guys know that this self-doubt stuff happens to everyone, maybe some people more than others, but it's definitely something that I deal with on a frequent basis. And I'm just not feeling really confident about my playing right now, and it's upsetting, and I have trouble remembering that my playing and my flute is not my complete identity. That goes for everyone. Like, we're not just what we do, and I think it is hard to remember that, and it's definitely something that I struggle with at times. And it's easy when you're feeling great about how you're playing or about any successes you have or what you're doing, but when you're maybe not doing as great as you want to, that's when it's hard to separate that part of yourself or that aspect of what you do from your personality. When you're doing well or you're happy with your successes or whatever you're doing, I think then it feels good to be like, yeah, this is part of who I am. But I think on the flip side, it's tough when maybe you aren't doing as well as you want to be doing, or you're not having as much success as you want. It's hard to remember that that does not make up who you are as a person, and that it's separate from everything else about you. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I feel like I'm just rambling now, but I don't know. I just wanted to hop on here and say that, and to let you know, if you feel like this, you're not alone at all. And I just have to remember why I started this, why I'm playing the flute, why I continue to be putting myself out there and doing this. And some days it's easier than others, and I just have to keep going forward. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you feel this way, you're definitely not alone at all. I think now I'm going to try to practice a bit. It's kind of late. I guess it's not that late. It's just dark out because it's fall, but it's around 7 p.m. And I'm going to do a bit of practicing and just kind of see where I'm at with some of the excerpts. It's just so hard to come back to these things with a fresh perspective, and especially when you've been playing your freaking Mozart concerto since you were, I don't know, 13, 14 years old whenever I started. I have trouble remembering that I'm not the same player that I was all those years ago. Like, obviously, I've improved, and of course, there are still things to improve upon, but it's just, I don't know, I find it really hard with these excerpts and with this concerto and just things that I've been playing for a really long time. It's hard to get a different perspective on them, and it's hard not to fall into these mental traps where you just think about all the negative things or the things that are wrong with them. Or I don't know, I obviously don't play my Mendelssohn Scherzo like I did 10 years ago or whatever, and it's hard to remember that. It's hard to hear yourself for how you really sound, and it's hard to be objective. And yeah, so that's what I'm struggling with, and now I'm just talking in circles, I think. It actually feels really nice and therapeutic to be speaking to you guys about this. Obviously, this isn't how I would want to prepare for every audition. Like, I should have been starting earlier. I should have, could have, would have, whatever. But yeah, this is where I'm at, and just wanted to let you guys know. I'm going to try to practice a bit now, so I'll see you later.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Hello, long time no update. So it is 2 days until the audition, and since my last update, my last very emo update, I feel like I am in a more positive mind space since then. I've just been doing a lot of really incredibly slow practice. Slow, but trying to fit in all of my musical intentions and to make it as precise as possible. I think that has made me feel a bit better because instead of like rushing to play everything up to tempo right now, and I don't know, I still have to really figure out my audition process and to figure out what the best system is for preparing and what works for me. Do I feel 100% prepared? No. But I am really proud of myself for just finally doing it and for finally, just preparing for an audition and to get back out there and do it again. So I'm feeling pretty okay. Tomorrow I'm going to Pennsylvania. I'm going to where my parents live, where I'm from, and then the audition is about an hour away. And so I'll leave tomorrow, and then the next day I'll head to the audition. So I will see you guys in a bit. So it is the day after the audition. I'm back in my apartment in New York. I wish I could have taken you with me throughout the entire audition day, but obviously that's not possible. But I did take a few clips which I will insert throughout the rest of this video. So my audition slot was 10 a.m., which means that I played in the hour of 10, not necessarily right at 10. So I got there at 9:30. I don't like getting places too early and having to wait around, and just it gives you too much time to think and overanalyze what you're about to do. And I did warm up pretty well at home before I went. When I got there and I checked in, they told me what I would have to play for the first round, and then I went to the group warm-up room, which I don't know anyone who likes group warm-up rooms, but if you can imagine like 20 flute players all playing at the same time, yeah. Yeah, so not my most favorite environment at all. So I was glad then when I got to go to a private warm-up room about 10 minutes before I played the first round. Moved to a single warm-up room and about to play in like 10-15 minutes. The first round is only Mozart and Ravel, so get pumped. For the first round, we had to play the fast excerpt from Beethoven Leonore Overture and then the solo from Daphnis and Chloe. I felt okay about it. I wasn't super happy with my Beethoven, but I felt like it was good enough to probably pass to the next round. So then after I played, I had to wait in a room with the other candidates for my time slot, and then they would announce who was going forward to the semifinal round. My number was called, so that meant I had to come back in a few hours, and in the time frame that I had, I decided to eat some lunch, and then I also watched an episode of Law & Order SVU, which I am completely obsessed with, and I've seen every episode multiple times, but for some reason, it's just very like calming to me to watch. I know it's not a happy subject matter at all, but I don't know, I love watching it, and I'm always just like, what would Olivia Benson do? But yeah, it gave me something to keep occupied with instead of thinking about, oh my gosh, what are they going to have me play in a few hours? What's going to be on the list? Yeah, so Law and Order. So then I came back to the hall and they told us what would be on the list for the semifinal round. Time for round 2. We played the solo from the 4th movement of Brahms 4, the solo from the 4th movement of Dvorak 8, and then the Mendelssohn Scherzo. My Mendelssohn was way too fast. Like, I don't know what happened. It was not what I intended at all. And after I played, I actually got my metronome out to check how fast I was going, and it was like 96 beats per minute, which is way too fast. I don't know, I just got excited, so I have to work on practicing that much under the tempo that I'm intending to play, so that when I get into that audition environment that I don't freak out and just bolt ahead, because it's not okay. Then there was more waiting, and they told us who would be moving on to the final round. So my number was called. For the final round, the screen came down, and for those of you who don't know, most orchestra auditions in the US are screened. There is literally a giant screen. There's a giant screen or barrier that is between you and the audition committee. It's completely anonymous. They can't have any bias towards you. It's all about how you're playing at that moment. In the final round for this audition, the screen came down and I could see the committee, and I wasn't just playing to a wall anymore. And honestly, I think I prefer that, not playing to the wall thing, because it's a really strange feeling not seeing who you're playing for, not seeing your audience, and having the screen come down makes it feel more of a performance instead of an audition. So for the final round, we had to play almost the entire list. We played the exposition of Mozart G major concerto. They wanted to hear the Brahms again, the Dvorak again, and the Mendelssohn again, and I took a much more steady, slow tempo on the Mendelssohn, thankfully. Then we also played William Tell Overture and Voliere from Carnival of the Animals. I felt pretty good overall about how I played. My Voliere could have been better, but it could always be better. Honestly, I was just so happy that I had made it to the finals and that I had pushed myself to get back or get into this whole orchestra audition process. So I was feeling pretty content overall. Once the finalists had all played, we had to do more waiting, and then the personnel manager came back and he announced that the committee wanted to hear another of the candidates play again. So then he went and played, then he came back, we waited some more, then the personnel manager came back again, and it turned out that the committee wanted to hear me play again. I was very surprised, and at that point I had already put my flute away, like I was sure that I was done for the day. Then I came back on stage and they wanted to hear me play the solo from Daphnis again, and then they also had me read some of the tutti part from Brahms 4. At that point I felt pretty relaxed and carefree, and I was just like, I'm gonna play and have a good time. Like, I've made it this far, that's more than I expected, so I'm just gonna play. So then we waited even more for them to deliberate, and then the personnel manager came back and he announced that the other person who had played in the super final with me had won the job, and that I had gotten runner-up. So I was and am so happy and feel really accomplished, and just to have even passed any of the rounds, I would have been happy because there were a lot of really amazing flute players there. So to get runner-up just feels like a huge bonus to the experience for me. It sounds cheesy, but this whole process was really a learning experience for me and a chance to push myself and get into the orchestra audition process. And this has shown me, like, yeah, I'm a legit flute player. Like, I sound good. Why is that still so hard to say? I audio recorded a bit of the audition just so I could look back with my score and take some notes later. And honestly, at some parts, I was like, wow, I sound good. Like, who is that? Like, it sounds legit. And feeling like, wow, is that really me? I think I have a lot of trouble recognizing that I can sound good. That's something I'm trying to work on, and I want to continue improving my playing, and I know to do that, I do have to be picky, and I have to pull things apart, think about what I need to work on, but I think I also need to spend more time recognizing the things that I can do well, and instead of always just like, well, this needs work, that needs work, what about this sounded good, you know? So it's a process, and I'm trying to get better at it and to become more comfortable with it. I almost backed out of the audition last minute. Like, I thought that I wasn't going to succeed at all, and I thought it was just going to make me more discouraged because I was going to do badly and then I was going to just feel hopeless. But I did it, and I did better than I thought I would do. So I'm really excited to continue on this path and see where it takes me, and to keep working on these excerpts and to keep trying to refine my audition preparation process. And yeah, I'm just excited. Tomorrow I'm going to be in New Jersey all day. I'm judging the middle school and the high school competitions at the flute fair that's happening there tomorrow. So I'm really excited for that and excited to hear some awesome young musicians. I've never sat on a panel for anything before, so I'm excited. And then also my teacher, Marina Piccinini, she's the guest artist, and she's going to be there giving a recital, so that's going to be amazing, I'm sure. So I'm excited to see her and to hear her. So yeah, I think today is going to be a flute-free day, just in preparation for what's about to happen tomorrow, non-stop fluting. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Let me know if you like this type of video. Thank you for watching and for your support as always. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, be sure to do so you don't miss any future content from me. And be sure to go connect with me over on Instagram at katieflute. I post a lot of video clips there, photos, yeah, lots of fun stuff. So go check that out. Thanks again, you guys, for watching, and I will see you in my next video.